You are listening to the IoT for All Media Network.
Now, how does I guess one thing that'd be interesting to hear from your side of things is the overall connectivity landscape in IoT obviously grows and it enables lots of different things, and your approach is very unique. And one of the other kind of hot topics when it comes to connectivity is the cellular side. So, how does Helium Network and the technology there compare to utilizing, let's say, cellular, for instance, to potentially run a similar application on that type of network? Like, what are the benefits and kind of value there?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the first thing to take into consideration is just the comparable coverage. I think a
Okay.
lot of people when they're thinking of like Helium or a LoRa network, and comparing it to like a Verizon or an AT&T, they think like, oh, those major telcos are going to have much better coverage. But like I said, we're in 160 some countries in the world now. I mean, so we have comparable coverage to cell, which is really
Mhm.
cool, especially in those urban areas. I mean, it's the difference is negligible, but um, Helium basically is a lot cheaper. That's the main thing.
Okay.
Like I talked about asset tracking. So like a LoRa device. I mean, LoRa devices in general are going to be cheaper. There's no SIM card needed, just fewer components and things like that. So you know, um, industry average for like a high performing GPS tracker is around $100. You can get, a good LoRa one for half of that, and it's gonna, still do the same kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so that's a big one right there. The data usage costs, again for Helium, kind of our standard example is one device sending data every 5 minutes costs around a little over $1 per year. Whereas like again, industry average for like a GPS tracker is going to be, around $10 per year. So if you're deploying a large fleet of like tracking devices or something, that's huge savings once you add that up.
Right. Right.
Um, that plus you get, you know, Helium's a totally decentralized network.
Mhm.
So, you're not getting contracts, you're not getting locked into a lot of cell networks. You get locked into a contract where you're probably paying for things that you aren't really using. You're paying for, overages on data fees, stuff like that. Like with Helium, you don't get those contracts. You only pay based on usage. So when you send data,
Mm.
you're paying for that, but you're not paying for anything that you don't need. You're not just locked into a subscription or a contract or things like that. And then just with the Helium blockchain, you've got total transparency into transactions and privacy for your data. Data is totally encrypted. And so, you see cell networks, telcos, stuff like that have been shown to like, sell user data and stuff like that without permission. And so we don't see any of your data. There's none of that happening as well. So, there are more, but those are some of the main ones right there,
Yeah.
just between Helium and Cell. Yeah, a lot of big benefits to using Helium.